But what can a utility do with the data gathered by the drone? Let's say a utility ordered one of these services or set up a UAV department. Once they have this data, what do they do with it?
Yeah. So we actually generate for them the final report. That final report have a
And we be
glass and bar engineer.
oh.
Yeah. Okay. What?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So we generate the final report for them. That report contains thermal picture and visual picture, and we try to find all the anomalies in there from our perspective. Then after that, we can give them the raw data, which is a thermal photos only or a visual photo, so they can actually look at it. We have the high resolution with the zoom camera and the 4K camera, so they can see each details in each hole in each location, and they can feel that they're already like sitting next to the hole and they're looking at it in their naked eye. And we have the video, which is very important, which is a 4K video for all the lines that they have. Yeah.
I guess to add to that, myself, for example, if I was the client and I received our reports, first of all, I'll be glad that I don't have to do all this work and it's been contracted out and someone else did it for me. But at the end of the day, the thermal hotspots, let's say I've asked to inspect 300-400 poles, I'm gonna get a summary report. And on that report, I'm gonna just zoom in on the 5-6 structures that the software that CASAF processed the pictures in the thermal software, and it's gonna call out hotspots. And those are your biggest enemies, really. So if I know out of 300-400, I got 5-6 spots where I can send my crew out and replace specific jumper connections or line arresters or anything that could cause a hotspot, anything that's been identified. That's a big relief for me because at least I know that I don't have to wait until the problem happens. I can send out my crew to specific structures and we can replace those connection points on anything that's identified as a hotspot. So thermal and hotspots really is a big thing just because you don't have to wait for something to happen. We can tackle it, solve the problem before we have hot season, high load, and then specific parts would melt or would fail. So that's one thing. The second thing is the thermal, the summary of the thermal the summary of the visual anomalies. When someone goes through, let's say 400 poles times maybe 10, 12 pictures of hole from different directions. Once I get that basically the summary, the juice out of it, I'll look at it. I'll say, okay, well, the two things I can understand out of it is first, there's damage. So I know the damaged items. I can set my crew out to replace the damaged items, but also might open up my eyes as a manager to what are the most common components that could fail. If I'm noticing there's a lot of things that are called out for a specific part, specific insulator, specific connection, specific joint, specific types of bolts, or anything that's causing a heat anomaly or anything that causes a visual issue, then I can manage my problems as far as sending out a crew to fix it. But also when I order material, now I can say, well, these parts typically cause heat. Well, why don't we order different parts? These parts typically break, or we've installed this line 5 years ago and now these parts are breaking, or these parts are damaged, or these parts are getting affected by other conditions. So that would help me also in my material ordering to avoid those specific materials. And when I build new lines, when I order new materials, I can actually follow those guidelines. Another thing, the videos. If I have my linemen, instead of going out there and driving and wasting their time, if we have the videos from the flights for all these circuits, the time that causes my linemen or my experienced staff to go out there and drive somewhere remotely 3-4 hours away, spend time on trying to access certain areas, trying to go through access roads, trying to talk to clients to get into their gates. I mean, how much work is the lineman really going to work on that day, or that specialized electrical approved person out of their entire day actually looking at the lines? If they go out there, spend 8 hours, they might knock out 50, 60 structures. But yet when you have videos, you can go through hundreds of lines just there, and you don't have travel time, you don't have health and safety risks. You pretty much eliminate all that. So you basically, again, as a manager, we struggle with resources. We struggle with knowledgeable people doing productive work. So when I can pick out all that travel time, all that stuff, and just have them watch those videos, clear videos, 4K, high resolution, I am in a better shape as far as a transmission engineering manager. So yeah, that's what I got to say.